to pretend to befriend you when no one else is watching. If only you could see through these mirrors that surround you. I fertile garden of lies, growing to placate you, sprouting through the cracked earth. You might realize, I know that you'll forgive me for this hell I put you through. And I have another waiting just for you. I know that you'll forgive me for this hell I put you through. Fearful that you're caught on, have to turn the charm on, get you back on my good side. Slither like a serpent, bow my head to repent. You fall for it every time. This has become my favorite game. Controlling the pieces that keep you sane. I know that you'll forgive me for this hell I put you through. And I have another lined up just for you. I know that you'll forgive me for this hell I put you through. Feels like I need you, know that I'll deceive you. It's just a matter of time. Masochist I tend to pretend to befriend you when no one else is watching. If only you could see through these mirrors that surround you. I fertile garden of lies, growing to placate you, sprouting through the cracked earth. You might realize, I know that you'll forgive me for this hell I put you through. And I have another waiting just for you. I know that you'll forgive me for this hell I put you through.
Hello everybody, I'm Hoardergamer, and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. Thank you for joining me. We're going to have comic book reviews. We're going to talk about toys, toy around, and then also we're going to look at the comic books coming to you in the future. The very, very near future, as in 1 week from today. Okay, so first up we have our first review of the week. We have Avengers Incorporated. And it's Janet Van Dyne going completely non-superhero, okay, and teaming up with Victor Shade. And it's not the real Victor Shade, which was like a name taken on by the Vision. It's like an imposter, but seemingly has his powers and doesn't quite know what's going on. The best scene in the issue is a morgue where 6 supervillains, or 5 supervillains, including Whirlwind, who has a very strong personal connection in a very dark and scary way to Janet Van Dyne. Basically, they're dead in the morgue and they come back to life as she's examining the bodies and realizes that they weren't like actually shot with regular bullets. There wasn't any of the burning scar tissue or anything like that with these headshots that everyone had. And basically, there's this insane fight sequence. The raft soldiers, or like, what do you call them? Correctional officers, I guess. I don't know if the raft has correctional officers, really. But, like, they're there with guns drawn and everything. And Griffin is one of these characters. Quicksand. They're all, like, freaking out, thinking, hey, now we can get out of the raft. You know, we can figure out a way altogether that we can do this. Because we're not in restraints or anything. They thought we were dead, even though they haven't really kind of worried about what happened to them or anything. Well, that's what Janet Van Dyne and Victor Shade are going to be looking into. And it seems like this really cool, almost spy-like 1960s vibe, especially the way everyone's dressing, because it has to be like they don't look like superheroes. Mayor Nick Cage does not... oh my god. That's right, Nick Cage, right? No, what am I thinking? I'm losing my mind. Luke, my god, Mayor Luke Cage does not want superheroes involved with any of this investigation, okay? So he wants everyone to be, like, dressed, I don't want to say dressed down, I guess it's kind of dapper and dressed up, but not like superheroes. And it's L. Ewing writing it, and the first issue is really good. It's really cool. I definitely recommend it. The art is by, let's see, Ewing is writing it, and Leonard Kirk does the art. Colors are by Alex Sinclair. Lettering is by BC's Corey Pettit. I don't know exactly if that's the full name or what, but anyway, very good book. And I do recommend it. And that's our first review of today. Next up we have some video game news. Video game conversation, if you will. We're going to talk about them. We're going to parade them around. No, we're not really going to parade them around. Okay, so first up, Starfield. I've been enjoying it a lot. I'm about 35 hours in, I believe. And it's just this great science fiction exploration type of game. But, again, it doesn't have the immersion factor of something like No Man's Sky. Like where No Man's Sky is right now after all the updates and everything, years later. And it's still a great game. Like, my issues are the same. Inventory could use some better sorting. There could be some less crafting materials. You know, nothing like super awful or anything like that. I've only had one bug that crashed the game in that many hours I've played it. And I would like it if like the NPC characters, like even like the main ones, like Sarah, who is a member of Constellation, and early on in the game you join this group called Constellation. And like even like the main NPCs, they just seem off. They seem, it's hard to say. Someone was saying like dead eyes, but if it's like seems more like that, more than that actually. Now that's more of a aesthetic issue, but the game itself, the exploration, that's really good. Now the combat could use some help because Mass Effect combat worked so well because of the cover system. Here, like an idiot, you always have to be out in the open shooting enemies. And it didn't seem to be that bad with something like Fallout, the Fallout series. Here, it really sticks out. So I've been trying to get like better armor and things like that because trying to get a beat on enemies and everything is not easy. Now, you will get certain abilities later in the game that make it a little easier, but it's still weird to be like out in the open shooting at someone that's like 20 feet from you. There is no cover fire. If you are in cover, you are not able to shoot enemies. It's really, really weird. Basically, you're just ducking down, but to actually shoot them, you're probably going to have to stand up. And it like doesn't have a feature where like you're in cover, you're shooting, and then you're immediately down again, like a regular cover shooter. It just doesn't have that. So that does take a while to get used to. Now, one thing, I want to basically echo a number of video game sites because I actually took their advice and did what they said. Do the mission Into the Unknown. Like I mentioned, you join Constellation and you go on a number of missions. It's technically the third mission you go on for them, or the third mission offered to you, actually. And because you don't have to immediately do missions, you get missions and then you can be like, I'll do that one, or I'll do a side mission. Or like, I'll take like a UPS delivery to Mars, Sidonia, you know, something like that. Like that's an option. Like you can do that. Anyway, try to do Into the Unknown as soon as you can because it will alter the way you play the game in a very profound and interesting way. And you'll kind of kick yourself if you've gone like many hours in the game doing all these side missions and you haven't done that mission that alters it in such a profound way. I'll just say that. I don't want to ruin what that is, but it opens up a whole wide world of the game to you. And I believe it's a mission you have to do, but try to do it as soon as you get it. Again, it's called Into the Unknown. Okay, now, Diablo 3. Not a lot of news, but big news. The new season, the final season of new content is it's this Friday, and it's season 29, Visions of Enmity. Okay? And it's been explained like a series of like a Russian doll with all the different like parts of the Russian doll. You know, it gets like real small and then real big when you put all the parts together. It's supposed to be like that. You'll find a portal and you'll enter it and fight some very tough enemies, some with like new affixes and abilities and stuff. Then, if you want to challenge yourself, there is a chance another portal will open in the one you're in, and it will get more and more difficult as you keep going through the portals. Now, I believe it's not a guarantee that you'll get another portal or a third portal or whatever like that. It can happen, is what I've been hearing. So that starts on Friday. And I'm thinking of playing a witch doctor. That's a really cool class. Yeah, poison-based, frogs. You can turn your enemies into chickens. It's crazy. It's a lot of fun, though. So right now I'm going between that, wizard, but I've done a lot of wizard in Diablo 3. Another chance I might do is, I think they call it paladin. I forget it. No, crusader. Crusaders, I think the term they use. And I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I want to see, maybe I've been playing it wrong, maybe, I don't know. So I guess strongly I'm probably looking at Witch Doctor or Crusader for Diablo 3 Season 29 Visions of Enmity. Okay, now, first off, let me start with, there's been this real, like, loud social media buzz that Spider-Man 2, the game, has absolutely no media. There's no media, no marketing, nothing whatsoever, absolutely nothing. Except there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit, and there's going to be more. So Spider-Man 2 impressions are going to be happening on Friday. Now, in most cases, when someone is flown out to Insomniac to play a game, or any studio really, there's going to be footage, like B-roll footage. There's going to be like, actual like vocal impressions, like everyone talking about what they thought of the game, but also like visuals, whether it's their actual gameplay or B-roll that's applied by the developer. And that's going to be exciting. That is going to be on Friday. And Evan Filarka and Caboose, they were actually two of the people that were chosen to do that. So that's really neat. Let's see here. Oh, and if that was not enough, on Friday, tomorrow is not only a Nintendo Direct, but a Sony State of Play. So tomorrow on Thursday, there's a Nintendo Direct and a Sony State of Play. Everything from a new Donkey Kong Mario game to a Metroid Prime 4. All of those things have been rumored for this insane Nintendo Direct. And who knows if any of them will be there. Now, I would say there's a really strong chance we'll see the Peach game, because we know that Peach from Super Mario Brothers is getting her own game. I'd say there's a real strong chance we'll get to see some of that. Because that's kind of been a bit of a question mark. Like, I don't know if we've, like, seen really any of it. I thought it was more of, like, and Peach is getting her own game. I thought it was something like they mentioned when they were showing Mario Wonder. It might have actually have been a couple shots of the game. I don't recall, though. So there's that. And the Sony State of Play, the way they word it, it's third-party games from across the world, as well as indie titles. So what I thought would be hilarious, everyone watching this will not find this hilarious, by the way, is if they just let the impressions and everything, they left that for Friday for Spider-Man 2, and at the Sony State of Play tomorrow, it's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Because that is from a third party. It's from Rocksteady, published by WB Games. Okay. Worldwide. They're in London. It works. It works. Also, pre-orders are not live for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League yet. And almost every WB game, including Hogwarts Legacy, MK1, usually has a 4 to 5 month pre-order window. Okay? So what we are looking at now is like almost a guarantee of September or October that pre-orders would go live. So it is very possible that it could be tomorrow, but I certainly don't think the Sony State of Play would both have Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and Spider-Man 2. I don't think so. I think that would be a little bit of superhero overkill. I don't know that WB would appreciate being right next to the new Spider-Man game. It just doesn't seem like that's likely to me, that they would actually go and do that. It just doesn't seem feasible to me. But yeah, I mean, that would be pretty wild. You'd see like people's heads on the internet exploding. Like it would be chaos. It'd be like the whole like some men want to watch the world burn, like from Dark Knight. It would be kind of like that if at the state of play from Sony it was Suicide Squad and not Spider-Man 2. By the way, okay, there's been a marketing campaign showing a number of Sony games, and in this campaign there's been 2 trailers. Both of them have had Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League in them. So that does lead me to believe that Sony is the actual marketing partner for the game. And I believe it was also a state of play, possibly, I'd have to double check that, where they showed that like 10 or 12 minutes of footage that everyone freaked the hell out over. Probably needlessly, because it's Rocksteady, and I'm pretty sure the game is going to be good. Okay, now, here's some other cool news. Early access for MK1 starts tomorrow for people that purchase the Collector's Edition or the Premium Edition. Premium Edition comes with the Season Pass, and then also, I think it comes with a really cool Jean-Claude Van Damme skin for Johnny Cage. So that's awesome. That might be exclusive, too. I do not know. And then also, with MK1, it covers the Collector's Edition, which also has all of that, plus a really cool statue of Liu Kang. And I'll be honest, I myself am not the biggest Liu Kang fan, and I did not want a gigantic Liu Kang statue. So that's one of the reasons I did not do the Collector's Edition for MK1. Other good news, friend of mine, friend of Doom Squad Gaming, Jay Shockblast, did get access to the early access, and did a video today on YouTube showing some really cool stuff, including some of the beautiful outfits and everything in the game, gameplay, just about everything. So definitely check that out, Jay Shockblast's channel here on YouTube. That was really cool. Let's see here. Also, early access. We got so many early access games. It's wild. It's wild. I'm actually going to bring up another one when I'm done talking about this one. Okay. Lies of P. Okay. And no, this handsome mug is not the model for the character P or Pinocchio in the game. I know you might think I am, but I'm not. I'm not. Anyway, the early access for that is Friday for the Deluxe Edition or the Deluxe Digital Edition. Okay, the regular release is going to be on Tuesday, and that's going to be digital and physical, the regular release of Lies of P, and then also on Game Pass. Now, I'm torn because I have Game Pass, so I technically on Xbox have Lies of P, or will be getting it. But I really think people will want to see it on my Twitch channel. So I'm tempted. I am very tempted to get it on PlayStation, because it's very, very difficult right now for me to stream from Xbox. That's kind of like in my living room, and yeah. I'm debating what I'm going to do there. I honestly don't know. A little peek behind the curtain, as they say. Okay, now, Wayfinder, which is another early access game until sometime early in 2024. Basically, there's a huge inventory update happening next week. We thought it was going to be this week, but it's going to be like Monday or Tuesday, to use the phrasing early next week. So they probably could have almost tried to get it out this week, but they were really worried about it because it affects inventory in a profound way. Anyway, that update will be available next week. And then they're doing a new thing at Wayfinder every Wednesday, not every Wednesday, certain Wednesdays they'll be having like a Wayfinder Wednesday, where they let us know what's going on with the game, the future of the game, everything like that. Plus, on the 27th of September, that will be the next Wayfinder Wednesday. They made that one sound really exciting. And it sounds like they're going to kind of go into what the first content release is going to be besides the early access beginning. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I like it a lot. It's kind of like a cartoony Warframe with elements of Diablo. Like dungeons that are constantly changing, kind of like a greater rift. Except instead of overhead, it's three-dimensional. It's really cool. I like it a lot. You can get into early access for as little as $20. And if you're interested in it, I recommend doing the $20 pack. By the way, they are not paying me to say any of this. None of these companies are. So, any of this stuff. So I really do like it though. From what I've played, I think it's really cool. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little bit worried because I know numbers have dropped off and everything. The actual devs at Airship Syndicate said they are not looking at numbers or worried about that until, not even beginning to start doing that until Season 2 starts. And later in Season 2. Because at that point, server issues will have been taken care of. Most of them are already taken care of. And basically everything else should be rared to go with a ton of content. So it's exciting. Also, I love the idea of being at ground zero of a new game, you know, like being right there at the beginning. Right, you know, it starts, right? The genesis, I guess you could say, of it. Which is a little bit on the nose because Airship Syndicate did Darksiders Genesis, and Joe Madeira is the artist who's part of Airship Syndicate, I believe, with his brother, who basically came up with the Darksider designs. So the designs, of course, in Wayfinder are excellent, and I think that's one of the big selling points, actually. Okay, we are now done talking about video games. We're done with that. At least for a week. Next up, we are going to toy around. And first up we have... Oh my god, it's Stiltman! No, it's not Stiltman. I thought it might be Stiltman. But the HasLab from Marvel turned out to be Giant Man. 24 inches of Giant Man. So more than 19 inches of Venom. By far. And you see him like scaring the hell out of a couple villains, and then Captain America is like, you know, gonna join in with Giant Man and beat the crap out of some villains. So I think it looks fantastic. 24 inches tall, and that is the base version right there. That's Giant Man. If they get 10,000 pre-orders, they will actually go and make this. So, super cool. Let me remove this here. Next up we have... Oh my god! Skrull Giant Man! So, I want to say that this is if they do 14,000 pre-orders, I think. I could be wrong about the number, I'm sorry. Then, this is the secondary unlock. Skrull Giant Man. I think it looks fantastic. I like it a lot. I don't have a picture of it, but there's also a zombie Giant Man that looks really good too. And I think that's with 12,000 pre-orders. So I think that unlock is at 12,000. But yeah, I think he looks great. Also, as a HasLab, it's one of the least expensive they've done. So this 24-inch Giant Man is going to be $199.99. Now keep in mind, it's 24 inches tall. Action figures are now no longer the prices they used to be. A regular 6-inch figure is $20 to $25. So, being that he's 24 inches tall, I think the cost does make sense, especially if those unlocks happen. If those unlocks happen, then yeah, definitely. Although at this point, I think they're at under 5,000 pre-orders. So they're almost halfway, and they have 40 days to go. So there's a very, very good chance they'll at least hit the base threshold in order to have the 24-inch Giant Man made by HasLab. Okay. Next up we have... This is freaking people out in the Transformers and the collecting world. Okay? Transformers Fortress Maximus. reissue. Okay? The original Fortress Maximus, of this version, sorry, not the very original from like the 80s. The original version of this version goes for $500 to $800. Apparently $500 easily. Okay? Well, he's $199.99, and you can pre-order him at Hasbro Pulse. I think it's $205.99 or something like that at Entertainment Earth. Keep in mind, anything you pre-order at Entertainment Earth, if you put the code Hoarder in there, it does support me, and I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. But yeah, this thing's crazy. Like, his head turns into a large, like, price cost roughly $25 to $35 Transformer, and you can see him standing there. And then, of course, Fortress Maximus is quite literally a fortress and turns into a city. So, yeah, people are like freaking out though, because like I said, this thing the original version of this version, that's so difficult to say. Like, the original came out in, I want to say 86 or 87, maybe 88, something like that, right? And then this came out 2-3 years ago, I think. And now this is a reissue of that. And that version that was not the reissue, yeah, going for like $500 to $800. So pretty nutty. But yeah, I definitely had to show that. The thing is insanely big too. I believe he is like 23 inches tall. Yeah, he's gigantic. Okay, let me get rid of Fortress Maximus. And finally, everybody, next week, Friday, is PulseCon. Okay? Hasbro Pulse, if you're a member, there's like, I want to say $49.99 free shipping. Covers you for a year, and then it also lets you pre-order difficult to get things like an hour or two earlier than other people that are ordering. This is one of the coolest things they had this year. It is the Crimson Strike Force, Tomax, Zaymot, Baroness with like this crazy Strike Force armor mask plate, a face where she's doing a like a face plate where she's doing like a lip bite, a snake, tons of cool gold guns. The gold weapons almost remind me of the Iron Grenadier type of thing. Another G.I. Joe or Cobra thing that happened. But yeah, some people are like disappointed because they're like, it's repaints. But they're disappointed because these are so well done that they feel they have no choice but to actually order it. But yeah, there's no price yet. If I were to guess, $75. It's 3 6-inch figures with a lot of accessories. So I would think $75. Baroness comes with an extra hairdo, 2 pairs of glasses. One pair of glasses for Baroness, not enough. They needed 2. But yeah, look at all those insane golden guns. And then the stands for the characters. Plus it's got some really cool like art box that like opens up, and they're like in their own special compartments with their names on and stuff. It's pretty neat looking. But yeah. Yeah, I think a lot better toys to show this week than last week. Last week was a little rough. There wasn't too much. But here we had, you know, finally the reveal of Giant Man. And yeah, Fortress Maximus reissue, which again, blowing people's minds. Okay, next up, we are going to look into the future. Okay, the near future of comic books. As in, 1 week from today. Okay, here we go, everybody. Writer J. Michael Straczynski, Captain America #1. It sounds like it's going to be a time-hopping adventure. It sounds like it's going to be pretty crazy. And the new Captain America series starts next Wednesday. Right there. Captain America. Tom King, one of my favorite writers, who did a really wild and memorable take on Batman for, I believe it was 75 issues, is taking over Wonder Woman. This is the new cover of Wonder Woman #1. I believe the artwork is by Stanley Artgerm Lau, and I think it looks phenomenal. I've always been a fan of like the more kind of buff Wonder Woman. I never understood the like skinny version of Wonder Woman. To me, as an Amazonian, it just didn't make sense. I always felt her physique should be similar to the other Amazonians, and that is no disrespect to TV's Wonder Woman or anything like that. At that time period, that made sense for that look. But yeah, I think this looks really cool, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably review this. There's a very good chance I will review this. And what, weirdly enough, we talked about this last week, okay? And I'm not trying like to hammer it into people's heads or anything like that. I was going to review it today, but this book technically comes out on, you guessed it, Batman Day. This comes out on Saturday. So art and writing by Rafael Grampa, and I think it looks amazing. Batman, the Gargoyle of Gotham. There's a black and white version. There's a number of awesome covers for it. And apparently it launches on Saturday. So that's what I found out at my local comic book shop today. That it launches on Saturday. But yeah, I'm very looking forward to reading it. Very good chance I could end up like reviewing it next week. Because it's kind of... an oddball in that it, it doesn't come out like a regular Wednesday. It comes out on Batman Day. Also on Batman Day, there's going to be a cool facsimile version of Batman #1. So that looks really cool. And then there's going to be a special version of Batman and Joker hardcover with, I think, a unique cover to it. That also comes out on Batman Day. Trying to think what else. Is it Batman 600? I'm trying to remember. There's a special foil cover for an existing Batman issue that's being reprinted, but it looks very cool and kind of a limited edition thing. So there is that as well. It might be issue 600 or 608 or something like that. Okay. Okay, everybody. We are almost at the end of our show. So what happens before the end of the show? Well, for the most part, another comic book review. And this one is Batman and Robin #1 by Joshua Williamson, and I believe it's Simone DeMeo. Yes. Letterer here is Steve Wands. Batman and Robin #1. It's really cool. So it's basically like Bruce getting to know his son better. And we find out that basically Damian had the chance to live with his mother Talia or Bruce. And basically Damian chose Bruce. And in this issue, they go against Killer Croc, White Rabbit, and somehow they're connected in some sort of scheme or number of robberies. We find out that Catwoman is basically on the side of other members of the Bat family, except for Batman and Damian, as she's doing her, kind of like crime spree, which is, the Batman versus Catwoman type of thing going on right now, which is like a crossover. So it talks a little bit about that. And you find out, much to Damian's consternation, that Bruce Wayne is going to enroll him in high school. Because he never really, went to high school. And then, like, Damien, of course, is like, well, I'm smarter than anyone that teaches anything anywhere. So, because it's Damien. But, like, yeah, you get to see this cool, like, father and son relationship going on with Damien. One thing that's really neat is you find out that Damien's passion is actually comic books. He's drawing and writing one in secret. He, like, talked about the way to get the most optimum amount of crime fighting done is for us to go to sleep right now. And Bruce is trying to talk to him, and then Damien closes the door. And Bruce is about to knock on the door, and he pulls back, and he's like... And then he actually goes and says under his breath, how did Alfred do this? But then you find out that Damien is, like, working on a comic book. Although I will say the name is goofy. Damien Vane. V-A-N-E. And the Murder of Crows Mystery. So, I mean, again, he's like super smart, one of the greatest fighters ever, but he's also a teenager, so I guess it makes sense. You also find out that the Terrible Three, I believe they're called, the characters that have, like, the fox mask, the bird mask, and the shark mask, somehow they're not masks anymore. Somehow they are now mutants. It's not explained. It's not explained. So we don't know why. But they are working with the current version of Man-Bat and Killer Croc. And the artwork's great. The writing's great. Joshua Williamson is actually kind of like the architect right now at DC Comics. So, like, the dawn of DC and all that, he's been kind of at the center of it. So, most of these books are going to be relatively exciting, like Flash, Wonder Woman 1 next week. Green Lantern's been really good. And I believe it was the 3rd issue of Green Lantern that came out today. But yeah, everybody, I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you like this show, tell other people. I love to talk about comic books, toys, and video games, and I'm very happy to do that here on the Doom Squad Gaming YouTube channel. Also, Doom said there will be some other shows and things coming to this channel, so that's exciting. Some new content here on this channel as well. Let's see. If you want to watch me, I'm not sure why you'd want to. Twitch.tv/Hoardergamer. Right now, I'm doing a lot of Wayfinder. Friday, I plan on doing Diablo 3, starting that new and final season, really. There'll be other seasons, but, like, not with really new content. They're going to recycle bits and pieces from previous seasons. So this is kind of the last kind of exciting Diablo 3 season. Let's see, what else? I might have already said it. Wayfinder I'm doing, and I really want to do Liza P. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to end up doing that and if it makes sense to do that. So, but yeah. Everybody, I hope you have... Oh, I'm going to also replay Spider-Man 2018. Everybody, thank you very much. And again, I'd like to thank Doomkiller HD and Doom Squad Gaming for letting me borrow the channel for this show. Thank you very much. And I hope everyone has an excellent week. Bye-bye.